Hedera Hbar, so this has finally got a bit juicier than we actually thought. I'm going to be showing you a demo that we have between Twigital app and also with Karate Combat, and why this even matters in terms of Hedera. Also, we're going to be having a look at a huge achievement for saucerswap and some updates that they have come out with, and of course the price action of Hbar coin today. So all it asks me are two things, which is to smash that like button and to subscribe to the channel as well. And we're finally back after my holiday. It has been quite nice just to take a little bit of a break, but I will be back on it with the uploads and the videos, and so do stay tuned for that because they will be coming out every single day. As always, do put anything that you want to say down below in the comment section, how much Hbar that you hold, for example, or whether or not you're having a good week. And it has been pretty alright here in the UK. So first, let's have a look at this coming in from hbarbull. It is the Twigital app that we have as well as Karate Combat. And the reason as to why this matters is because, of course, the Twigital app uses the Hedera network, and it's all about tokenization. So we do know that tokenization is going to be a huge thing going forward in the future. But not only that, this is a different type of tokenization, guys. This is actually tokenizing these certain items that we have within these areas like Karate Combat and making them 3D. So it really is virtual reality, and it's bringing that together with the tokenization, and that's the reason as to why it is pretty much different in general. And I will play you this video so you can see over here just what it actually is and how it works. So first off, we have the Karate Combat glove, and you can see the EVM address and also with the owner as well, and when it was actually created. And of course you have the token ID, so that is the identifier. Not only that, but if we do actually play forward the video as well, we also have this video, and of course we have the model. But when you actually move around in the space, you can see it as a third person, and this is how it actually is able to move around the room. So it really is that VR or that virtual reality aspect of it. But we have the glove. Now this isn't the only aspect or item that we have the Karate Combat. You can see how it's moving and practically there. We also have some other little bits and pieces as well. You can see that it is currently on the App Store, and so you can see that we have Vanzi trainers, we've obviously got a teddy bear over here, and we also have an animal as well. So this just goes to show that they are basically tokenizing these objects. And of course we have the certificates, because you can see over here, this is where you get your proof. And so this is a tracker that we basically have for it. And also just some more information about Twigital if you have not heard about them. Again, it is an application, and it is the 3D digital twins of physical items tokenized on Hedera. And of course it is the tokenization of real world objects, and to let them operate in the digital realm. And it will become more important as we see that augmented reality continue to grow, and the high level of programmability of NFTs, provable fairness and low fee structure of the Hedera network play critical roles in allowing Twigital to accomplish their goals. And so it seems like as if Twigital, the software application, is going to probably be staying with Hedera for quite some time. And of course we do have the co-founders, and I'm more sure that you've probably heard of Brandon, because he runs hbarbull. But if you do actually want to have a look at this in more detail, you can actually check this Gossip About Gossip podcast, and it is on Market Scale's website. So that is the first piece of news that we have. It's great to see that it's also on the App Store. And if I just play a bit more of the video, we'll see all three of these items, and you'll actually be able to move around the room as well. So that is some great stuff coming in. In addition to that, we also have this interview between Rob and hbarbull. Now this particular question is one question that I think a lot of people want to know about, because it's something that is on everyone's minds as being a hbarbarian. So we have over here that they hear about partnerships with Hedera all the time, but no one can explain to them how these partnerships will utilize the Hbar token. So of course, if Hedera do get partnerships, it is good for Hedera themselves. But initially, what we actually need in general for Hbar is for that to actually be utilized. So how are these partnerships actually utilizing the Hbar token? Because we're only going to see some sort of run in price if we're able to actually get that utility up. So what utility will Hbar have as a result of this partnership? Because without utility and usage of this token, I don't see demand and value gravitating to it. Of course, that can be a likely aspect, because if you don't have that much utility, well, it doesn't really make sense in terms of the usage of it and demand going up in general. So let's first take a look at what they've said.
So the next one comes from Yas, and he said, the question is quite loose, so I'm going to take it from a governing council perspective, and I think the questioner is referring to the governing council partnerships, and also the fact that Hbar is a utility coin. I mean, it is its sole purpose really is to to drive or to pay for network fees for usage of the network, right? I mean, that's the core purpose of HBAR within the Hedera network. So partnerships, we have ecosystem partners. And so, all of the systems integration partners that we have, all of the academic institutions, the foundations are ecosystem partners, and they're all driving this growth we refer to as ecosystem development. They're driving the growth across the Hedera ecosystem. But the governing council are very special in terms of the constitutions and the setup of Hedera, and so I'm sure everyone knows this, but we have a governing council of 39, up to 39 Fortune 500 equivalent businesses, both in Web 2. Now, what then happens, of course, is that they join for a reason. They join because they have an interest, and now every new member, and we've seen in the last few months Hitachi and BitGo and Mondelez join, and they all have use cases. So each one of those governing council members achieves the grade by demonstrating how they're going to use the network, and that's only their first use case. The others will follow. And as co-chair of CorpCom, I get to see all those use cases. We get to interact with the Hashgraph Association, their enterprise program, and they're charged with supporting governing council members and enterprises in terms of their delivery, should they need it. Some don't need it. And so all of those things come together. It takes a long time, as we often say, to actually deliver new enterprise change, but those things are being delivered. And we're seeing more and more of them kind of coming to market now. Some of them just the first toe in the water, but actually each of those proofs of concept leads to product and business innovation. All of that comes together in terms of that utility that we started with. So, HBAR is necessary to be used to interact with the network, and that drives the utility, drives the revenue we talked about earlier, and ultimately drives the growth of the network into more shards and community nodes and everything else.
And I think in terms of answering that question as well, when it comes to these council members with these partnerships, some of them we've only secured recently. For example, I think roughly around about 4 as of now, just for this year. So they may not be utilizing the HBAR token as much compared to the other partnerships perhaps beforehand. However, with that being said, we also know that some other partnerships are just doing little pilot tests, for example, when it comes to the Hedera network. So maybe we may not be seeing that much utility when it comes to the token. However, going forward, we should actually be able to see something if they do think that they are able to receive some sort of benefit. But it will be interesting to see how these partnerships can actually utilize the HBAR token and whether or not they have done it so far. In terms of the milestone for saucerswap, they just announced on the 15th of April that they have now hit $1 billion in total trade volume. So following the launch of saucerswap v2, Hedera DeFi have seen unprecedented growth marked by this massive achievement. And I do think that roughly around about maybe over a month ago now, I saw that this trading volume was at maybe 500 million. But again, in terms of saucerswap, it seems like as if they are doing really well within this DeFi space. And they're the ones that are pretty much at the top when it comes to Hedera's ecosystem. So let's have a look at the price action of HBAR token today. We're currently trading at 0.08162. We are up by 6.71% on the 1-day chart. With the 24-hour volume, we are down by 19.32%. And you can see that it is in the green. Yesterday, we were trading at 7 cents. So on the 7-day chart, we were down by 18.07%. We did start off the week quite nice and strong at 0.1004. So at 10 cents. However, we did actually take a dip all the way to 0.072 on the 13th of April. Midweek, we were able to go roughly around about 0.08608. On the 1 month chart, we are down by 22.26%. We basically lost around about 2 cents from that 10-cent mark where we were before. In terms of the price action of HBAR, I definitely want to see it up and above this 8-cent range. If we're able to do that, then let's see if we can actually get back to the 10-cent mark. Now, the price action of Source, we are currently trading at 0.09577. And we are up by 5.41% on the 1-day chart. So ever since I went on holiday, of course, Source has retraced quite heavily compared to where it was before. But this was inevitable. It did seem like as if it was coming. It was just a case of when, right? Because Source actually did go on a run all the way to 23 cents. So now it's pulled back, and I think that the last time I checked, the price of saucerswap was roughly at around about 14 cents. So it has pulled back quite significantly by about 4 or 5 cents. If you have a look at the 7-day chart, we are down by 20%. So it is pretty huge. And if you have a look at the 1 month chart, we should be down by quite a lot as well. So when the chart comes up, and so you can see over here, we are down by nearly 31%. Of course, we had that nice high of 17 cents. And pretty much when I left for holiday around about here, then we saw that massive dip happen. But let's see if we're able to hold up and above the 7-cent range. Guys, if you want daily Hedera Hbar and saucerswap news, subscribe to the channel and like the video as well.